I mean, that's real. That's very real. What a load of bullshit. Hello Star Wars fans, unusual audience, welcome to another That's Just Joe video. My name's Joe and that's about it, but that's not about it. It has been officially confirmed that The Acolyte is cancelled. No season 2 for Disney's Star Wars series. Word of the decision comes more than a month after the 8-episode first season of the series from creator, director, executive producer and showrunner Leslie Headland wrapped its run on Disney+. The news is not entirely surprising. The Acolyte did okay with critics with 78% on Rotten Tomatoes, but divided Star Wars fans, which was reflected in its overall viewership. When it launched on June 4th with 2 episodes generating 4.8 million views in its first day on the streamer to rank as the biggest series premiere on Disney+ this year. The tally rose to 11.1 million views globally after 5 days of streaming. So The Acolyte started off really well, basically. It was doing really well at the beginning, and then people fell off. As the article goes on to say, but The Acolyte could not sustain the momentum, dropping out of the top 10 in the week 3 and staying off before returning at number 10 after the release of the final. 335 million minutes, believed to be the lowest for a Star Wars series final. Article goes on to say Leslie Headland's pitched season 2 in the past, blah, 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 blah. But I think it's really important to know one thing here before I get into my thoughts about this. Season 2 isn't cancelled. It was never going to happen. There was no season 2 greenlit. That is just a hard pill to swallow. There wasn't. Yeah, there might have been ideas for a season 2 going around and everything, but nothing was officially greenlit. And I think Disney did the right thing by getting the first season out, seeing the reception to it, and deciding whether to do a season 2. And by the looks of it, they've decided not to. Right, personal opinion. I am absolutely gutted by this. And my first reaction when I woke up this morning, I was making my coffee, loaded up Twitter or X or whatever you want to bloody call it. It's a hateful place anyway. And there was the disgusting film post. The Acolyte has been cancelled by Disney Plus after 1 season. I literally fell to my knees. Now, I am one of the people that really liked Acolyte, and I think it was the opposite way. It got better as the season progressed. I did have my issues with it. I thought an 8-episode runtime for a big story like this was a little short, and the episodes were really long. They were about 40 minutes, and it wasn't cut very well. There was a lot of pauses. There was a lot of waiting to do this, waiting to do that, and it did feel like it was spreading out just for the sake of getting it over 8 episodes. I have to say it's the most cinematic Disney Plus Star Wars show I've seen, that and Andor, but I really enjoyed the performances in this. I loved discovering a new era of Star Wars I've never seen or really read up on. Manny Jacinto, who plays the Stranger, the Sith Lord of this, and was probably one of the standout stars in the whole series, was actually at the Disney convention D23 not long ago, their big sort of Comic Con, and he did a Q&A talking about The Acolyte, celebrating the first season of The Acolyte, and for them to just a few weeks later say we're not doing another one on his birthday. But it doesn't matter if it's someone's birthday or anything, but God, I loved this guy's performance. I was really looking forward to a season 2, and to be honest, the season did tease us at the end. It left it on a sort of cliffhanger that there was more stories to be told, and I know what you're going to say, Joe. They can be told in comic books or video game format and all this. I don't care about the comic books and that. I really don't. I'm sorry. I prefer the live action stuff when it comes to Star Wars, and that's where I think we should have seen the next chapter. And it is going to happen. So if you are a big fan of The Acolyte and you really, really want to see what the next chapter is in that story, I'm sure there's going to be comic books and that. But for me, in terms of Star Wars, it's not usually the direction I go. I have to also say it's a really odd time for letting this come out. I think they should have waited a little bit longer and, for the dust to settle, and they had Skeleton Crew coming out, and they should have then probably officially announced it wasn't happening. But I'm really gutted for the cast and crew of this. My heart goes out to them. The amount of hate they've had to be exposed to with the making of the show, when Star Wars is supposed to be a celebration of film and also story and everything. And again, I love The Acolyte. I think it was really good. It just needed a little bit more of a nudge. But hey, season 1s aren't usually the most perfect. When you go into season 2, they've learned from their mistakes. They've learned from what they can do better. And those fight scenes were pretty kick-ass as well, I have to admit. And, because the honesty is it isn't happening because of viewership. And it didn't do well. Disney didn't see the return, so why do it? But now that gets me on to the future of Star Wars in TV. Star Wars cannot survive in television. I am telling you now, they need to back off with these shows. The next 2 shows we've got coming out is Skeleton Crew, and then there's Andor Season 2. The first season of Andor didn't do very well at first, but more mouth talking, word of mouth. Is that it? Word of mouth. It did really, really well, and it's gone on to be a classic. But, that came with a package deal. They went, look, we only want to do 2 seasons of Andor because it leads directly into Rogue One. So they had a plan in place. The Acolyte, I feel like, was the same, but they weren't willing to give it a chance for a continuous run. But I do believe there was way more story there, and I do think it's better than people are making out it's not. I am gutted, and I think Star Wars needs to go back into film, and it is with the Mandalorian and Grogu film, and I think the Ahsoka TV show is going to transfer into the Dave Filoni sort of Heir of the Empire film, which I'm really looking forward to. But then we still got the James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi film. We've got the Rey film. Disney have no idea, and Lucasfilm have no idea what they're doing, because they've done so much Star Wars content. They've pumped it into our throats, but also they've pumped it into this toxic fandom, which I am sick of. And many times, even during the release of The Acolyte, I just wanted to back away from this fandom and never make videos about it, because I'm sick to death of the minuscule things they pick up on just to spread hate, not just among people my age and older fans, but also young people. I've spoken to so many young people in my family who've come up to me and say, hey, have you seen The Acolyte? And I went, yeah, it's really good. And they go, oh, I heard it isn't because of this and this. And they're just repeating what these grifters have said. But there's so many grifters out there who are just celebrating, going, look at us like the Ewoks, and just being like, yeah, we did it, guys, misogyny, racism works, yeah, we cancelled The Acolyte. Acolyte Season 2 isn't cancelled, it's just not being renewed because of viewership. So please don't listen to these people. They are fucking awful. They are just completely unbearable people. Please stop feeding them their egos. But I need to take a breath, and I am so disappointed in Disney. I really am, because there is more potential there, but I get why they are doing it. I get it. The viewership wasn't good. The returns wasn't good. So that's it. That's The Acolyte. It's over. But I truly think the rest of the Star Wars TV shows, we've only got 2 more coming out. I don't think the future of Star Wars is in TV. And if it is, they need to rethink their solutions and what stories they're doing. I still think they should be doing High Republic stories because they're really interesting. And that's what I loved about The Acolyte. Explored an area of Star Wars I'd never experienced before. But, haters are going to win. I guess hate wins at the end of the day. But no, it's not hate. It's because of viewership. So please stop listening to these people, especially that Robert Meyer Burnett. Unbearable. Anyway, guys, what do you think of this announcement? Are you happy that The Acolyte's not getting a 2nd season for whatever reason? Or are you upset as much as me? And that's why I had to make a video and do this rant. But anyway, let me know in the comments below, and make sure you like this video. It really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Maybe a little bit less ranty and a bit more positive. But yeah, that was the video. Thanks, guys, for watching, and take care. Bye-bye.